Tokenism is defined as actions that are the result of pretending to give advantage to those groups in society that are often treated unfairly in order to give the appearance of fairness. So tokenism isn't just related to race and ethnicity. It can also apply to gender, age, skin color, socioeconomic class, nationality, appearance, and physical and mental ability. Actually, right, a lot of people, brands, and businesses are known to use tokenism to mask their disinterest or maybe even dislike of fair and accurate representation. It is more common than we think. Of course, the easiest example that comes to mind would be advertisements in Malaysia. The whole Melayu, Cina, India, macam lah tak ada orang jenis lain here, and people in Malaysia can't be identified with anything other than their race and ethnicity. And I'm sure you guys would have heard of the term token, insert characteristic, friend or character. You know, like that one Indian uncle in Malay dramas, or that smart Asian girl wearing glasses in the class, or like, how can we forget the fat, sassy black friend? Always on the sidelines, never given a significant role. If you look closely, that confirm got at least one token character in almost every TV show or movie we watch. The fact is, tokenism is a dangerous, lazy attempt at diversity. Privilege is a special advantage or authority possessed by a particular person or group. I mean, we hear this word all the time thanks to white people and white privileges in most places and situations around the world. Not everybody can be a backpacker lah. Okay, but like in Malaysia, we usually dengar the word when discussing the economic privileges Bumiputras have as specified in Article 153 of the Federal Constitution. Housing discounts, land reservations, education quotas. UiTM is a pretty great example of privilege. It's a higher education institution that's only open for Bumiputras. Wouldn't it be nice if it was expanded to take in students regardless of race so keluarga Malaysia can sama-sama flourish? Anyway, another form of privilege that's not talked about a lot is able-bodied privilege, which basically refers to the privilege some people have because they are not limited by physical or mental impairments. Some basic examples are, say, easily managing tasks like going to the bathroom, getting dressed, taking public transportation, and commuting to wherever you want without any thought or need for support or assistance. Other types of privilege can come in the form of body weight, financial status, gender identity, and age. The thing is, most of us would have one form of privilege or another. It's not necessarily always a bad thing, but if your privileges are taking things away from others or hurting them, then actively making changes whenever and wherever possible can make the society more equal. Sexism is the belief that members of one sex are less intelligent, skillful, able, etc. than members of the other sex, especially that women are less able than men. It is also defined as actions that are based on a belief that particular jobs and activities are suitable only for women and others are suitable only for men. A recent example can be when Parliament Speaker Azhar Harun kept asking the female MPs to diam when they were trying to speak.
Datuk Speaker,
tolong diam boleh tak?
Datuk Speaker, benarlah kuasa PPM boleh usulkan.
Tolong diam boleh tak?
If you think of the whole session, right, like all the days, you can see how he mostly only gets all diam senyak with the female MPs. He was less eager to shut the male MPs up rudely. Sexism can also rear its ugly head in situations where people just assume men are the point of authority. It's like you walk into a room full of men and maybe a couple of women and assume that the women are there to serve bihun and kopi. Especially if the women aren't dressed to the nines. We would hardly make the same assumptions about men. A 2020 Women's Aid Organization survey on gender discrimination at work concluded that 56% of Malaysian women experience at least one form of workplace discrimination. Some examples are comments about their marital status or plans to start a family, being passed over for promotions, and being asked to do tasks that are not asked of male colleagues like making coffee or preparing refreshments. While it may not always seem like it to a lot of people, sexism is dangerous. It can lead to gender-based violence, sexual harassment, formation of unequal policies, and excuse harmful bad behavior. So if you see it, stop it. And if you're guilty of it, now's a good time to do better. Okay, definitions are: Policies, behaviors, rules, etc. that result in a continued unfair advantage to some people and unfair or harmful treatment of others based on race. It is also harmful or unfair things that people say, do, or think based on the belief that their own race makes them more intelligent, good, moral, etc. than people of other races. I actually made a whole video talking about racism, so here.
Think of racism like a tree. It's green and growing because people have been fertilizing it with hate and discrimination for centuries, and its roots are strong and deep. First branch, institutional racism. Second branch, stereotypes. Third, and my favorite branch, colorism. Fourth branch, racial slurs.
Diversity refers to many different types of things or people being included in something. When I think of diversity, right, I cannot help but to mention the severe lack of diversity in our politics. The average age of the new Keluarga Bahagia cabinet is like 55, I think, if I did the maths right. But here's the thing, about 14.6 million Malaysians are between the ages of 15 and 39. And while there are 33 female MPs in the parliament, there are only 9 in the cabinet. Women make up almost half of Malaysia's population at 49%. It is so obviously disproportionate and not diverse. And don't even get me started on all the other forms of diversity yang tidak ada dalam kabinet dan politics. But this might also be because politics isn't exactly an easy career pathway and it's not often encouraged. So I get it, it's not easy, but I'm hoping it'll change for the better in the future. But in the meantime, we just have to make do with all the great politicians we have. We can make it diverse if we want to. So people in positions of power should start making decisions for better representations and diversity.
Gentle reminder, tokenism shouldn't be mistaken for diversity.
A group of people, organization, or effort that's truly committed to diversity will make a conscious effort to ensure there's diversity. They know that it's not easy to break the toxic norms, but they'll do the work to fix it. So why these 5 words? Because I think they're related to the root cause of most of Malaysia's problems. And these are the issues plaguing the lives of most Malaysians, and you hear it both offline and online. Okay, one last word before I go. Democracy. It is the belief in freedom and equality between people, or a system of government based on this belief in which power is held by elected representatives or directly by the people themselves. So since Malaysia is a democracy, lain kali bila orang nak cakap pasal isu-isu that you deem sensitive or makes you uncomfortable, tolonglah don't shut them up, okay? It's necessary to acknowledge these problems so we can move from a failing toxic democracy to a healthier one, if we want to be keluarga bahagia together. Okay, namaste, waalaikum, good night, happy weekend.